Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I've missed you guys. Yeah, on this tutorial I want to show you how I decorated a beautiful wood effect traditional Nigerian wedding cake. I know most Africans like this kind of cake, right? This is usually what we do here for our traditional marriage. So if you are planning for a traditional marriage and you are in Asaba or you want to refer my brand, please kindly do so because I am in the city of Asaba and I will ensure that you will not be disappointed. All right, so first thing first, you know how we do it on this channel. All right, you layer your cake, which is very important step in making your beautiful cake. All right, so here I'm using a fruit flavored cake. All right, you can see the raisins in the cake already, so it's obvious that it is fruit cake. So the first thing first you need to do is to ensure that your cakes are well baked, right? Then you start stacking. So you're wondering, what's she doing here? Why is she poking holes on the cake? Okay, that I am poking holes because I want to drizzle the cake with the alcohol, the dark rum I soaked the fruit with, because this cake is good traveling all the way to Edo State. I live in Delta State, Nigeria, and the cake is going to Edo State, and I baked it a week before the wedding, so I don't want anything to happen to it. So this alcohol I'm drizzling on it enables it to stay longer. It tastes yummier, it stays longer. It can actually stay for over a month even if you don't refrigerate it, because of this alcohol I'm drizzling on it. And you're wondering why it's dark rum, which is from the fruits I soaked. I've soaked this fruit for over a year, so you can imagine how delicious this cake is. All right, so just continue and ensure that everything is properly stacked. On this channel nothing is hidden. Easy B will show you how it is. Even if I make a mistake, I will show you in the video, so that you will not beat yourself when you make the same mistake when you are doing yours alone in your house. Nothing is hidden, no hidden charges. Okay, oh, just kidding. Actually, there's nothing hidden. I show you how it is. So most times I don't like over fast forwarding the videos I make, because I want you to get all the details in the tutorial. All right, so do this for all the layers of the cake. If you're making 10 layers, for example, do the same. Every layer you put, you drizzle it before you continue with the next layer, just like that, until you finish all the layers. Right, this will enable your cake stay longer. It serves as a preservative. I don't use any other preservative in my fruit cake except the rum I soaked the fruit with. And of course, you know that you can soak your fruit for as long as 3 years, 4 years, 2 months, a month, a week. It depends on when you have your job and when you want to do it. So you know how to go about it. Maybe I think I have a tutorial on this channel on how to soak your fruit for your for your wedding cake. So if you need that tutorial, I think you should just search for it, how to soak fruit, how to soak raisins for your fruit wedding cake. So it is on the channel. You can go search it and of course soak your fruits. Right, so like I said, after stacking, you know that you're going to trim properly. This is another important step in making your beautiful cake. Trimming is very important. I have trimming disc that I got, but most times I forget to use them. All right, it is after trimming freehand that was when I remember that I have them. So this is very important. You saw how I do it. I trimmed one side, I flipped it over, trimmed the other part. It's as simple as that. Even a beginner can do this. So don't beat yourself when you're making a square cake. I see people say, oh, it's easier to cover a square cake, a round cake than a square cake. Actually, it all depends on you. They are all the same. You can do, if you can cover square, you can cover round. If you can cover round cakes, you can cover square. So there's nothing really there. So the process is basically the same. Layer your cake, trim them and stack them, and that's just it. Right, so I had to do this for the square because it's a 2-tiered cake with a calabash on it. I had to do it for all the steps here. you know, as we do it on this channel, here I have just cake crumbs and buttercream. Mix them thoroughly together and then crumb coat your cake with it. But if you want to use chocolate ganache, go right ahead, please. So this is just the buttercream and little crumb cake crumbs. So here I had to be removing the raisins on the cake, you know, so it has to be very soft. That's why I had to remove all the raisins in the cake to ensure that it is smooth. So you see how I'm doing it. Actually, crumb coating a square cake is easier than crumb coating crumb coating a round cake is easier than crumb coating a square cake, right? So you have to flip your scraper back and forth, just like so, to ensure that you get all the edges, right? So when it's well crumb coated, it will be easier for you to cover it in your fondant, right? So the process is the same. When you see how I'm doing it. Yeah, you see, back and forth on each of the sides, so that every side you see just like that. You go back, you scrape it off, you go again for the next side, you scrape it off just like that. That's why it's a bit more difficult than a round cake. If it was a round cake, you just go all the way 360 all the way around. But for a square cake, you have to go back and forth on the same side about 2 to 3 times before you smooth it out. Alright, so the process is basically the same. So enjoy. Yes, this is so sometimes I read comments and I'm like, thank you so much. I had to fast forward this because it's basically the same with the other one. So this is for the calabash. For the calabash, when you start, ensure you finish it until the end, right? So that you will not have some gallops or some stops on the fondant. So when you start from the beginning, ensure you just roll it all the way until you finish everything. So I had already done this before, so the process is basically the same for everything. This is water. What I have in this water. I hear people asking me, what are you spraying on the cake? What are you spraying? I have a lot of questions. It is water. When you put it in the cake and you use for a few minutes, it will harden. And you know that fondant will not stick on your cake if your crumb coat hardens, right? So it's either you spray water on it to ensure that the fondant sticks, or you steam your cake, right? So if you have a steamer, the same effect water will give you that steam. So that is steam spray water. So it's basically just water. So for the edges, you see what I'm doing? After putting it on, you see, you put is the same thing, just like this. Are you seeing? Push from your right, push from your left, and then cut. You see that the edge is as sharp as whatever you want. So it is very important that the pressure from your two hands are equal, right? This is very important when you are, especially for this design. Ensure that you use your ruler and mark it correctly so that it will not bend in any way, right? Ensure that you do that. It is very, very, very important. So now to paint your cake, you'll be needing 50% of yellow food color and 50% of brown food color. So this is what I'm just missing here in this palette, 50% each. So one shouldn't be more than the other, right? If you want to have that wood effect on your cake. So after mixing it together, you're going to add your edible spirit and then mix it thoroughly. So here I thought it wasn't bright enough, so I needed to add more yellow. Right, so when you do that, you just mix everything thoroughly together and then you're ready to paint your cake. You will soon see how beautiful it came out after painting it. So this is the secret to your wood effects. You don't want to waste your food coloring by trying to color all the fondants before you cover your cake. So to save your food coloring, just cover your cakes in white. After covering it in white, you would now paint it all around. And then the painting is very easy. If you have a foam, there's this foam I got that I usually use for painting of if I want to paint a cake. They are very affordable in the market. I think it's about 150 naira here. So it's something that you would want to get if you want to paint. You wouldn't want to use a small brush because it's going to paint your cake in patches because of how edible spirit is, right? So you would want to use a brush, a foam brush, or a big brush, but I prefer using a foam brush. It makes the work really easy. So here, the reason why I am just painting this cuts that I made, or the pressures I made on the cake, I just wanted it to be a bit darker than the actual painting. Like when I paint it, I want other parts to be darker. So you can see that I'm using just brown to paint this particular place. Brown, and okay, I mixed it in the stainless bowl. So I'm using brown and the yellow color. I'll just paint all the marks I made on the cake. So when I paint it with the other mixture of yellow and brown, you are going to see how it's going to turn out. Because I realized that when you paint all brown, it makes your cake too dark. It makes it too dark, right? So that's why I resolved to using just brown and yellow color thoroughly mixed together and then paint it with it. So in no time now, when I finish doing this, you will see how it turned out. So please let me know if you'll be trying this on your cake, right? Let me know if you have a traditional marriage cake, if you will try this new method, and let me know in the comments. Thank you so much. And here is saying thank you again to my subscriber, every one of you. I do not take your help here, your support for granted. Thank you so much. If you've not subscribed, if you're just seeing my video for the first time, kindly subscribe. Thank you so much. So you see what I'm saying. So this brush, the foam brush, is a new one that I just got. So you see that it's way easier to paint with than using a small brush. This one does not leave patches on it. You see how it looks. Yeah, so it looks better when you use the two colors to paint instead of painting with only brown. So mix equal amount of yellow and brown to achieve your beautiful wood effect. And you see that other areas, the areas I painted brown, you see how it turned out. It's a bit darker than this other part. That is exactly what I wanted. So that was why I used a small brush to paint it initially before using this foam to apply it generously on the body of the cake. So you see how it looks now. Yeah, so this is exactly what I wanted. I did not want it too dark or too yellow and all that. So that's why I did this. So these patches I just want to give it that wood effect on the cake, right? So I just wanted some part to be a little bit darker, while the other side were just the way it was, right? So this you can use at discretion, depending on what your client wants and how you want it to turn out. So you can use your discretion. Thank you so much for staying glued. So you do this for both of the cake and then you continue your work. This particular bus lock, I needed to use 3 different modes. So just watch and see how I did it. I didn't want it to look just ordinary, like just simple. So I needed to be creative with using this mode. So if you don't have this particular mode, you can just be creative with the modes you have. So these 3 are what I use to achieve the bus lock, which I know that is something anybody can do. So just be creative with it. Ordinarily, you would just want to use just a particular mode like that, but here I just thought, why not combine 3 different modes together? I actually did it, set it on a table, and I saw that it was beautiful, so I decided to use it on the cake. So you can see that those other 2 modes, I inverted them just like that, and then this other one I just attached it, because if you see the actual cake, you will not even know that there are 3 different modes that I used to achieve that. You see how I did it. So if you want to do yours, ensure you just combine some modes that you have in your studio, or if you don't have, if you have a particular mode that you know you want to use, you can do just that. It's as simple as that. So this was the other part of the cake. Actually, I saw this cake inspiration from somebody else. I don't know who the baker is. I even reposted it on my Facebook page. So when my sister said I'm going to make a wedding cake, I just decided to use that design. So it's not entirely the same. I just decided to use it. This person I baked this cake for has been my friend since way back 2009. I met her in school when I did my diploma. When I did my diploma, she was a friend. We became so close to the point where she became my roommate, because at that time we were struggling. We were all struggling. This lady will not pay her school fees, but you know, she will follow me to go and do menial jobs, right? To the farm, actually. She would follow me to the farm, because then in school, I used to go to the farm every weekend, every Friday. I would travel to the village, go to the farm, you know, and make money so that I'll be able to pay my fees, my school fees. But she, on the other hand, she was also struggling financially. You know, she didn't have, but she will ensure that I pay mine before we will now think of how she's going to pay hers. So when she told me she was getting married, I just told her, I'm going to make a cake for you. So I baked the cake, took it all the way to Edo State to her wedding. I passed the night, and then the next day I returned back to my base. Right? I was excited making this cake. I was just told her, please don't worry, I'm gonna make a wedding cake for you. And I'm so glad that I did, because she was really very helpful many years ago when we were in school. When we didn't know where our school fees was gonna come from, Cynthia would come, you know, she would follow us, ensure that everything is all sorted out for us. Then before she will not think of how she's gonna pay hers. But God was faithful to us that we were able to finish and we graduated. So we are just saying to many CYs out there, people who are selfless, people who are diligent, people who support their friend, I'm saying a very big thank you to you. Thank you, CY. I'm grateful to God for you. Congratulations on your marriage, and I wish you many beautiful years in this journey that God has called you into. I pray you'll be a good wife to your husband, and then your husband will be a good husband to you, and your children will be so blessed to have you, because you're a selfless being. Thank you so much for what you did for me many years ago, and I'm delighted to have made your wedding cake. So this other design, you can see how I did it. Sorry, I was just talking. Just watch closely, you'll see that it's very simple. This is how I did it. So for the bust lock, I'm going to do it on the 4 sides of the cake for the first and the second tier, just like that. This styrofoam that I made, I'm so sorry I could not capture it in the video, but I have a wedding cake coming up, I think in October. Yeah, so it's something like this. I'm going to show you everything, how I did everything. I'm sorry I could not capture it. This actually is the styrofoam is it's a mold. I use combination of different molds
right? So I remember I told you the reason why I made the calabash with yellow fondant, because I was going to paint it. So you can see it's easier to paint good when your fondant is yellow, right? So for the other one too, as I painted it. And then if you want to learn how I made these beads, the cola nuts, the egg nuts, everything else, I have a full tutorial on it on the channel. Just search for it and you will see how I made them. Right? These trees are not edible. They're just something I got from the cake to shop. And so this is it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this cake? Do you like it? Would you like to try it for your clients and all? Please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for staying glued to my page. Thank you for your subscription, for your likes, for your comments and your shares. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. I will see you in my very next tutorial. Bye.